Today on the Sauna Talk podcast, I'm pleased to present Earric Lee, who is a leading researcher surrounding the health benefits of sauna. As you listen along, you'll hear the background noise of the busyness and hustle and bustle of London streets, as instead of on the sauna bench, we capture this episode outside a London hotel. Earric and I converged for the recent British Sauna Society Sauna Summit, and it was here in London where I was able to capture Earric and share with you his exhaustive yet budding effort to help bring sauna research to the forefront. Earric Lee is a fellow board member of the Sauna Research Institute. He has a clear focus on helping de-silo sauna researchers globally. He is also committed to helping advance studies towards what you and I know to be true. Sauna is good for us. So, let's welcome Earric Lee to Sauna Talk. This show is brought to you by the Build Your Own Sauna ebook from saunatimes.com. Be it indoor electric, backyard wood-fired, or some combination in between, this is a practical guide that has helped hundreds, more likely thousands of would-be sauna enthusiasts as they realize their own authentic sauna dreams. With this easy-to-follow guide, we can settle into what's best for the individual. This book was written for you. As many of us know, the sauna building journey is often as rewarding as the destination. And as you talk with others, you'll find that this is the guide that can cut through a lot of the pedantic chatter and help you, just like with good heat, get right to the bones of sauna goodness. Interested? Please go to saunatimes.com and click the page at the top called ebook for more information. As bonus, for the month of August 2023, 50% of all book sales are being donated to Sauna Aid. Now, on to the show. Well, greetings. It's London, and it's rainy, and we're by King's Cross in a hotel lobby, and I'm here with
Earric Lee.
And Earric, how are you most known in this space, would you say?
How am I most known?
Yeah.
I'm not known.
And that's today.
Yeah, I want to keep it that way.
You're a low-profile guy, aren't you?
I greatly want to and desire to be, yes.
Oh, okay, and I appreciate that. So having you on this show is unique. You don't do many podcasts.
I have not done, no, I don't think. Off the top of my head, I don't think so, no.
No, well, I want to thank you for being on Sauna Talk, because this is very important. There's been a lot of talk about sauna research. There's been some splintering of action about sauna research, but I really believe in my heart like there's an opportunity today with the right collaborations for some really great things to happen in the world of sauna and heat therapy and research in that realm. And I just have a good vibe that, you know, you're well positioned in this.
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting perspective that you have, and I think I cannot speak of that personally because you're the one looking from the outside in.
I am.
I can't, for better or worse, I can't say that for myself being in the position where I am. It's a privileged position. The topic of sauna bathing and sauna bathing research kind of fell on my lap, and I just wrote it out, essentially. Yeah. I'm still on the horse.
Yeah,
it hasn't bucked yet. Yeah.
What is your background? Where are you from, and where have you lived?
Whew. That's two questions, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So let's get to the first question, which is my background. So I actually used to work as a strength and conditioning coach and a personal fitness trainer for a long time. I was working with professional athletes for the IMG Academy down in Gainesville, Florida, back in the day, a long time ago, and then worked with some athletes down in Austin, Texas. And being a strength and conditioning coach just was naturally transitioning me towards wanting to understand exercise physiology more. And then now we pivot to the second part of your question, which is like, where are you from? So I was originally born and raised in Singapore to a Malaysian mother and a Singapore father. And so I spent a lot of time growing up in Asia, Southeast Asia specifically, but I've also lived in Malaysia, spent a short 3-month stint in Thailand doing a Muay Thai camp. I used to do combat sport, and I need to go back. I needed to go back to and then this is the third part of your question: where have I lived? So I needed to go back to Singapore to do my mandatory 2.5-year military training.
Right.
So
In Singapore.
In Singapore,
Yeah.
so it was 2.5 years. After which I realized, like, okay, I did not have a decent enough education to pursue exercise physiology as an expert. So I went and did my bachelor's degree studies in Perth, Western Australia. Graduated from Edith Cowan University. Subsequently, after that, was broke as hell, very, very broke. So I needed an out, and Finland afforded me the wonderful opportunity of free education, which I will forever be indebted to.
And what year was that?
That was 2015.
2015.
Yep.
Cool.
So 2015.
So there you were. You.
There I was, 2015, August 31st. I remember landing in Helsinki, not knowing what train to take to get to Jyväskylä.
And how many? Yeah, that's how it looks. Like
Yeah,
you'd
that's how.
pronounce it.
Yeah, exactly.
And how many words of Finnish did you know at that time?
0.
Not even sauna is a
No,
word?
yeah. Okay, if we count
One
the words,
word.
yeah, 1 word. Yeah, probably 1 word. Not more than that. And at the time, I thought I was in a movie. For the most part of the first year I was there, it mostly felt like I was in a movie because I'm like, wow, I'm on the set of Lord of the Rings. These guys are like speaking in Elven, like so
totally.
So learning the language was a way to kind of penetrate the society, but. I don't want to get that conversation diverted.
Not at all. Let's talk about Jyväskylä. Is that Jyväskylä?
Jyväskylä.
Jyväskylä.
Yeah.
And did you go there knowing people? And let's step outside. You want to be a little quieter?
Sure.
We can leave our gear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who are we leaving our gear with?
Oh, just some random dude in the corner, yeah.
That's the infamous Mika Meskinen, who is 100% Finn. Okay, we're gonna step outside. Yeah. And so, did you know any? Did you know any? You didn't know your curriculum at that time.
Well, I was doing what we would call, or what is still being called, the biology of physical activity. It was a master's degree program.
Okay.
So it was a 2-year program, international program, was taught in English by some very proficient professors and teaching staff. And then subsequently, I graduated, worked as a research associate in the local hospital, the Finland Central Hospital, for about a year. So between 2017 to 2018, after I graduated from my master's degree, not knowing what the hell I was going to do.
Yeah.
Applied for several PhD programs all around the world, including Australia, the UK, the US. Got incredibly frustrated because I've always made it to the interview round of the PhD program, but never got selected. And the excuse or reason I was given at the time by all the interview panels of all the different universities was always, we just had a better candidate. Otherwise, it would have been you.
Oh wow.
So I felt a bit jaded, and I'll just give a little bit more background to the story. I was ready to pack up my stuff, do a complete 360 career shift, and move to Uruguay and work in a backpacker's hostel. Why Uruguay? Because cannabis is legal there, and I thought it'd be a great continent to be on because I haven't lived in that continent so far. Like maybe Africa as well. I haven't lived there either, so I thought, okay, I'm going to explore South America. But as it turns out, my then PhD supervisor, now research collaborator, Jari Laukkanen, who is quite famous in the sauna research domain, he just, casually asked me, hey, would you like to do a PhD under me? And we could both do sauna research together. And at the time, it was either, okay, when you're staring down the barrel of a 6-chamber, what do you do? You know?
Yeah, right.
So, well, I was gonna get some kind of funding from doing the research. So I thought, why the hell not? It's not as exciting as Uruguay, but it sure is a lot more stable.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
Now, at that point, were you into sauna, being that you were in Finland, did you get into sauna before your connection with Dr. Jari Laukkanen?
Yes, this is a question that has been asked by some journalists who wanted to know about my background. So, when I was a competitive athlete, I used the sauna to cut weight for boxing and for bodybuilding, and I found it very useful. However, one of the things that rarely gets published, even though it gets asked by journalists about my background with the sauna, is the usage of sauna to alleviate a syndrome that I have. I don't know the medical term because I haven't seen it, but I have severe lower body muscle cramps so my quads and my hamstrings after intense training that wouldn't go away. So I'd get these cramps.
We're tourists. Sorry.
That's okay.
People are so polite in London. I just love it. You know,
Yeah.
she said sorry to us for
and
asking
she actually
directions.
paused for a
Yeah.
long time before she asked the question.
Yeah, very kind.
Yeah. So back. So before we got interrupted, so I have these severe muscle cramps after training that wouldn't go away. I thought it was a mineral deficiency, so I tried to supplement with magnesium, with potassium, with sodium. Nothing helped. I'm still having a bit of it these days, especially when I don't go to the sauna. So one of my colleagues back in a gym that I used to work at, bless his heart, he suggested for me to go to the sauna. And I asked him, like, what's the rationale behind it? He's like, well, it helps you to relax, and by virtue of relaxing your sympathetic nervous system, you might be able to help the muscles to relax because the fact that they're cramping up means they're overactive. So I think, well, scientifically that makes a lot of sense, so why not? I've already exhausted a lot of options from like doing stretching, PNF stretching, and all kinds of dynamic stretching or static stretching, and it didn't help. In fact, sometimes it made it worse.
Yeah.
So I went to the sauna one day after, working out on my legs, and I just sat there for 15 minutes, I guess, or 20 minutes, and massaging my quads and my hamstrings as I was in there. And then when I walked out of the sauna, incredibly, I didn't get any cramp. Now, you have to understand that because this is not a video podcast, I can't show a lot of people this, but Glenn, I'll show you. So I had cramps in my quad that if I straightened out my legs, that would lock the quad and that would cramp it up. So I couldn't do that, so I had to bend my knee. Now, if I bend my knee too much, guess what? The hamstrings get activated. The hamstrings would cramp. So I had to be in this Goldilocks sweet spot, and I had to walk like that to stop myself.
So you look like a caveman walking around.
Yeah, I look like a baboon or a buffoon. Like it was, and there were times of desperation where I got a cramp after training, but I wasn't in the gym, so I couldn't get anyone to help me. I was having lunch outside, and I couldn't move, and I sat down by the sidewalk, and my colleague spotted me, and he asked me, hey, is everything okay? Do you have a problem? And I actually had to say, I'm having such severe cramps, I can't walk. Can you help me get back to the gym? And that has happened like several times. So that speaks to the severity of the issue.
Wow.
So by going to the sauna regularly after training on my legs, it helped.
Yeah.
It genuinely did help.
Yeah.
I still till today do not really understand the immediate acute response and impact it has on alleviating cramps or muscle cramps in terms of the usage of the sauna, but I know for me it helps. And this is not peer reviewed or scientifically validated, just FYI.
But it sounds like that experience, the positive therapy you get from sauna, was serendipitous in a way, because it opened the door with Jari to be. It sounds to me like you'd be much more receptive to this work, because you've had some actual
positive
results.
experiences.
Yeah.
I would say that's one of the main reasons when Jari made the suggestion for me to do my PhD with him. I wasn't against it. In my heart, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take it. It wasn't like I didn't have any better option, because we all have options.
Yeah.
And it was a conscious decision that I made.
Yeah.
One that was like, yeah, I'll do it. But at the same time, from a philosophical standpoint, why me of all people, you know? The opportunity could have easily fell on the lap of somebody else,
Yeah.
given that Jari is renowned in the field and he has other PhD students who
Yeah.
might want to do that work. So
Yeah.
serendipitous indeed.
True. And so 6 years in Finland?
8.
8 years in
Yeah.
Finland. And now you are in, where?
I am in Montreal, Canada, in the province of Quebec, in the Montreal Heart Institute.
Perfect. And tell us what you're doing currently with the underneath the umbrella of the Heart Institute.
So what we're doing over there, it's actually a lot of very groundbreaking work on thermoregulation, heat acclimation, and vascular parameters, put it that. Because the lab in the Montreal Heart Institute is actually run by a very well-known scientist, my current work supervisor, Daniel Gagnon. He has published a lot of good work, and the lab is well known for producing high quality research. Well known in the UK, well known in Australia, well known in Europe.
Right. And I didn't mean to jump around, but let's put a little cherry on top of your work in Finland. Can like a little bit of an elevator summary of the research that you were on, and it has to do with exercise primarily, right? Before, after sauna.
Yes, that is correct.
Can you give us
after the sauna? Yeah.
Give us a quick summary, if you could.
So we conducted an 8-week randomized control trial with about 48 participants, split into 3 different groups: a control group, an exercise group, and an exercise plus sauna group. And what we wanted to see was if the exercise plus sauna intervention, regular sauna after regular exercise, was superior to regular exercise alone. So the design of the study was such that we had a control group so that we can determine if our 8-week exercise intervention for 3 times a week, following international guidelines of achieving at least 150 minutes of moderate to vigorous intensity a week, was effective. Now, we achieved that. It was effective because the exercise group saw an increase in cardiovascular fitness, and they also saw loss in fat mass. Now, it is very reliable results because the fat mass was measured using a DEXA scanner. So it's not a regular body composition analyzer. It's a DEXA scan. So it's medical grade. So we can affirm that the exercise intervention worked. Now, the second part of the study was to ascertain if adding regular sauna bathing to this regular exercise regime would give you any additive benefits compared to just exercise alone. So indeed, we found it. In the research study, we found that there was an increase in cardiorespiratory fitness. There was a decrease of an average of 8 millimeters per mercury of systolic blood pressure, and there was also a reduction in total cholesterol levels. So these things tell us that, okay, it appears to me that there may be some kind of synergy that exists between exercise and sauna bathing, in the sense that I'm quite confident that the sauna bathing you do after exercise will augment the effects that you get from exercise over the long term, because this was a long-term study. It was 8 weeks long. So that's the main gist of what I did in Finland.
A question for you. If someone listening to this show, a benefactor, had a certain amount of cash, and I could ask you how much, to
Put it into cryptocurrency.
yeah.
I'm just
Convertible
joking.
coin. Would you like to apply that research money toward a follow-up study within, on top of this study that you just spoke about, or is there another study in a different area that you feel would be worth investing in, and if so, what?
Okay, let me get this right. So are you giving me the keys to the kingdom? Is this a blank check?
Well, if you had it, well, first of all, let's quantify that, right?
Okay.
To put you on the spot.
Yeah.
And this is a tricky question, but if a benefactor was listening to this and had a checkbook out, how much would that check need to be made out for? This is just a hypothetical without going
of
too
course.
deep. You know, to really put some meat on the bone
Right.
for.
We need to manifest this. So yeah,
Yeah,
I get
exactly.
It.
That's
Yeah.
where I'm going with my
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
So throw a number off the top of your head.
2 million.
$2 million.
2 million.
USD.
2 million USD, could be pounds. It depends on the nature of where the study is going to be conducted.
Yeah.
And I throw that figure out there because for most PIs, principal investigators in science, they need to build a lab. I'm not trying to build a lab. This 2 million would be used to fund a multi-center research. So we will get 2 or 3 different research labs that actually produce sauna research to come together to standardize a protocol and to run the trial either at the same time or close to at the same time using the same protocol but in different populations.
And you feel the infrastructure of a lab is critical for this?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Infrastructure of the lab is the budget would be different. It's not covered in that 2 million.
Wow.
Yeah. That
Okay.
2 million will allow us to at least have 1 PhD student on each clinical trial site, and we'll have 3 of them. So we will have the PhD student there to conduct that study while myself, or some other sauna research expert can be overseeing everything.
And in your, where do you see the most opportunity? Is the study on top of your work in Finland, or would this be a different area for research?
Oh, no,
Or
I
do
think
you think you hit the nail on the head with this exercise sauna analyses, or is it something different?
No, it will still be an exercise plus sauna. Excuse me, pardon me. It will still be an exercise plus sauna type of intervention. However, I have been asked by several people, and thanks to them, I have some new ideas in my head where we can actually think about replacing, not completely, but some of the exercise time with sauna to see if we would still have similar effects. Now, let me clarify this very quickly. Say, for example, you exercise for 50 minutes and then you go to the sauna for 15 minutes. So you spend a total of 65 minutes stressing your cardiovascular system. But then the criticism that I've received from some readers of my scientific research is, well, you made a group of people exercise for 50, and then another group of people exercise for 50 plus 15 of sauna. So there is a duration discrepancy. So at some stage, I would like to pursue, how about we do 35 minutes of exercise plus 15 minutes of sauna, and then have another group perform just 50 minutes of exercise. That way, the time duration for the intervention is matched, and then we'll see if the effects are the same, because that would mean that people who are unable to exercise at the required level can now replace some of it with sauna. And I'm not at all suggesting that we replace exercise wholesale with sauna. I'm an exercise physiologist. I will die on that hill that we need exercise, okay? However, there has to be an alternative for people with glycogen storage diseases, people with disabilities, who can't exercise at the requisite intensity to reap the benefits, to have that component be replaced by something else. And who knows, sauna bathing might be it.
Yeah. Well, this overlaps a recent guest on Sauna Talk, actually a couple guests, who are involved with the Wounded Warriors program, and folks with amputee, and these are athletes that have lost a limb, a leg here, a leg there, and sauna intervention has really helped them because it gets their heart rate up and gets them moving around because they have physical limitations.
Yes.
So I get you there. Let's jump forward and we'll finish up here. Okay,
Right.
You doing good?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. I was really impressed with the conference that we attended on Monday. This is the British Sauna Society.
Oh, they were very impressive.
Yeah.
What a job they did. Outstanding job, remarkable. I keep telling them how great they were.
Yeah.
I've been been to a fair few number of similar conferences in the field, and this has to be the most well organized ever that I've been, and such a remarkable job of getting everything organized. Wow.
And getting a great collection of speakers together.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody was engaged. I mean, when we took breaks at the right time as well.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And we were hanging around.
Yeah,
and
they
all
were
that,
very Pomodoro.
Yeah.
They gave you like breaks, 5-minute breaks in between the long sessions so that you can kind of digest the information.
And what was great is when they rang the bell, everybody hurriedly back to their seats.
The time testicle.
Yeah.
Then when somebody was, I think it was Barry Sykes who was shaking the time testicle.
Time testicle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then maybe it's just British politeness, I don't know, but everybody returned to their seats promptly, and then boom, the next speaker. And then when you got up, you had a couple of things within your presentation that resonated with me, and I wanted to get them onto this podcast. The first, you went through a list of a couple critical things, and the first thing you said is we need alignment on what we're going to call this.
Yes, we
Can
definitely
you expand that a little bit for us.
So this is from experience working with a librarian of mine in the Montreal Heart Institute. We have a problem right now identifying who we are as a field when we use terms like heat therapy. Now, I want to use the term heat therapy, and I've been using the term heat therapy because a lot of passive heat therapy, water immersion studies, or even sauna studies have used the term heat therapy. However, heat therapy has been occupied for a long time by the physical therapy field. So when we try to do research, like reviews, and we search for keywords like heat therapy, it throws up a lot of physical rehabilitation studies, which we are not interested in. Now, the next thing is thermotherapy. Now, thermotherapy, it's a really nice, not often used term for what we do, but it's been used by cancer research, hypothermia, thermotherapy. So when we try to do a search on that, using that keyword, it gives us results that we might not particularly be interested in because we're trying to harness heat for health. Now then you ask, okay, so what term can we use? We use hot temperature, but the term hot temperature is usually used for climate science and environmental related issues and publications. So then we really are starting to run out of terms which we can agree on and call it that, because we need those things to be in alignment. Because it makes the job easier for the researchers, the clinicians, and also the stakeholders like business owners and associations like the British Sauna Society, because you don't want to use the terms too interchangeably. You want stability.
Yeah, standardization.
Yes, a standardization is very important.
I agree with that. I thought that was really appropriate, and right now is the appropriate time to come to an agreement on that. And I mean, and you don't care, you said. Like, whatever it is, let's just do it.
Yeah, well, I don't care what it is, but as long as we're consistent. It's like, if somebody forgets my name and he calls me Bob, I don't mind, but just keep calling me Bob. Don't call me Sam on one day, Bob on the other, and then Luke on like Friday.
And you think sauna bathing is as good as any? Is that your opinion, or is that a front runner?
I think sauna bathing or sauna therapy would be ideal.
Yeah.
Because we are using the sauna. However, I do still have some reservations because I haven't had enough time to ruminate on it, because there is value in hot water immersion as well, because studies have shown us good evidence that hot water immersion can also be a reliable form of intervention. So we want to classify these two together in an umbrella term. Maybe we need to give it another name. Well, maybe the Brits are well positioned to do that, given that English is their mother language. But like I said, whatever it is, we need to be clear about it. Now, if the study is using a traditional Finnish sauna or a sauna, not the infrared type, just a sauna, whether it's a wood stove or an electrical stove, then I don't think there should be any problem doing sauna therapy, using the terms sauna therapy. However, because there is a lack of research around the area, the term hasn't really been one that can be sort of like put into a research database that throws results back at you.
Right.
Yeah.
It's too narrow?
there's too little studies for it
Yeah.
to kind of for the web crawlers to kind of like cling on to, because as a keyword it's not strong enough. It
Yeah.
hasn't been used often enough.
Yeah, interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
The second point I'd like you to expand a little bit on is I guess you could call it like honesty and transparency of the work.
Oh yeah.
And you could you give us the example you used the other day and your position on this?
Right. So to be fair to the general public, who oftentimes may not be as scientifically trained as an academic or somebody who's in the research center, we need as researchers and as part of the community to be really open and honest with what we see from the sauna research. Now, as I get it that we want to promote something that we feel is good for everybody. If you went to a Barcelona and you had a great vacation, you come back and you encourage everyone to go, right? You'll be like, oh man, Barcelona is great, it's cheap, it's one of the best places to visit in Europe. But you need to tell them that they need to watch for their wallets as well, because there are a lot of pickpockets. You would tell that to a friend, wouldn't you? You'd be like, hey, do this, but be careful of this. And sauna is not a Swiss Army knife. Well, it's obviously a Finnish army knife, but you know, but it's not a Swiss Army knife. The metaphor being that it's good for a lot of things, but certainly there are drawbacks. And the drawback that has been published for more than 10 years is its effect on male fertility. And there are studies, systematic review with meta-analysis that has been done in 2013 that documents the fact that spermatogenesis, spermatoza, sperm motility are all negatively impacted. Although it's reversible, they're negatively impacted when you go to the sauna regularly. Mm-hmm. So my suggestion to the British Sauna Society and during my presentation is to be transparent and honest with things like that. Mm-hmm. When there are no effects, say that there are no effects. Have scientists who are brave enough to present information that shows the contrary, and also be transparent about negative results like with the spermatoza. And so people, policymakers, can find this to be something that's more believable and viable, because trust me, politicians and policymakers, they know when they smell a rat.
Yeah.
This can't be 100% good.
Yeah.
Where is the negative? Yeah. Where is the downside? And when you are open and honest with them, they can make a better decision, and then we can put up safety guidelines to inform people who do enjoy the sauna. Hey, if you're thinking of conceiving, please do not come to the sauna for the next 2 weeks, because it might affect your sperm fertility.
Well, in my case, when our youngest was about 1 year old, now I realize why I was going to sauna when I was changing diapers and crying in the middle of the night. I just didn't know it. It was like 2 is enough.
Yeah. I'm cutting the cord in this factory.
Yeah. It was a lot less. It was a lot more enjoyable to go to sauna than get the tubes tied on Julia.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
That was good. Now, last question, and I
Yes.
could ask you questions all day, but we're going to Banya here in London.
Yeah.
Banya number 1. I'm so excited. We usually do these podcasts on the sauna bench, but we don't know what we're in for here in a couple of minutes. But thanks for being a guest on Sauna Talk.
You're most welcome.
And I want to throw this to you. Is there anything you would like our listeners to know? Is there anything that's on your mind? We're on the heels of some really cool stuff after a great conference. What's on your mind?
Do not listen to what people say. Do your own homework. And if you do not understand something that you've read from the scientific literature, look for someone who's scientifically trained, who's willing to share their time with you. Otherwise, look me up on ResearchGate, send me an email, send me a message. I'm not on social media, but you can find my institutional email if you Google my name, and I'll be more than happy to break stuff down for you in a simplified manner so that it's fair for all of us to really have these digestible information, because scientific jargon can be really difficult, and don't let anyone swindle you.
Love that. Well said. I do have one request on top of that, is when you receive these correspondences, could you keep the email and just put it in a Google Doc or something so we could share it with others? Are you cool with that? Well, maybe not. You want to keep a low profile.
I
right?
want to keep a low profile, and I want to make sure that the people who ask those questions consent to that.
Yeah.
So it's contingent on that. It's not dependent on me.
No problem. We'll keep it behind the firewall for now. But I got a feeling you're going to get, if you get 20, or let's say you get 20 because it's a simple number. I think you're going to get like 12 that are overlapping, which to me would be great.
I'm thinking
You know what I
7.
mean? Yeah, 7 overlapping.
I'm thinking I'll get 7 emails.
Okay, let's put it this way. If you get more than 7 emails on top of this podcast asking questions about research in sauna,
Then you're coming to Sweden?
then you're coming, if you get more than 7, you're coming to Sauna Days next year in Minnesota, 2025.
We can't do that. Then I'll have like 8 from Minnesota alone.
It'll all be the same email address.
yeah.
Me. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's just say they all have to be outside of Minnesota. I'm putting you on the spot.
Oh yeah, they have to be outside of your subscribing list.
Oh shit. Well, then that's going to be like Uruguay. You have to go down there. Well, brother, thank you, Earric. I've really gotten. We became fast friends through communication. But when you're eyeball to eyeball with somebody, I think the spirit really comes forward, and I just want to thank you for who you are.
By the way, listeners, in case you were wondering, this is the first time I have met Glenn in person. And this is not choreographed. You can hear people asking, I don't know if he's going to do some post-production on this, but you can hear people walking by. There's busy traffic. There's lady asking for directions. We moved from the hotel lobby to outside, and you can probably hear pickup trucks around the background. There's a Burger King right across the street.
And Wendy from the British Sauna Society took
Came
a
by
photo
the-
of us to validate it.
So
So it's just real shit.
This is real shit.
Thank you, Earric.
You're welcome.